getting a little nervous.
Yeah.
Anyway, he thought I was just breathing hard because I was attracted. I said, no, thanks.
Oh, I've been out to Colorado once a few years ago, and a friend of mine told me as soon as driving from the airport in Denver to where we were staying in Aspen, she said to make sure we just stop at a grocery store and buy literally a can of oxygen. And I looked at her, I was like, what? That sounds crazy. And she said, no, you'll see it. It comes in a can, and as soon as you start feeling lightheaded or you're getting a headache or before you even start to get short of breath and winded, just take a hit of oxygen and it'll help you adjust, because it takes, she said, it takes a week. She used to work summers there, and she said it would take her a week to adjust to being that high and in the thinner air. And since we were only staying for a week, she said, there's no sense in suffering. Buy the oxygen. And when you need it, you use it. And it made a big difference.
You spray it like a hairspray on your thing?
No, you just you inhale it. It had a little cover, and you just breathe it in.
Oh, interesting.
Almost, yeah, it had a little face cover, and you just pressed a button, and not quite like an inhaler. It went around your mouth versus in. But it made a, yeah, it was great. We took it on. We went everywhere with it. We had a day pack, home with a can of oxygen. Our kids thought we were crazy, but I'll tell you what, it made the trip enjoyable. And we had no, I mean, we went up to 14,000 foot peaks and hiked up there. And if we had not had it, we would not have been able to enjoy. So it was awesome.
I think 14,000 feet is the level that planes have to pressurize their cabins.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that. Wow.
The only reason I know is because we were flying, again, years ago, up to Louisville, from Atlanta to Louisville. And there was allowed buying the pressure decompressed. So I guess the cabin decompressed a little bit and the mask dropped down. We started breathing through the mask. I thought the plane was going down. I was nervous.
Yeah.
The captain came on very quickly and said, ladies and gentlemen, use your oxygen mask. It'll take us a minute or two to get down to 14,000 feet, at which time you can remove the mask. I'll let you know. And we got down here, said, you can take the mask off. We'll fly the rest of the way at 12,000 feet.
Very good.
Hello, John. Wonder if John.
Hey, John. Yeah, I see him there.
Yeah. So which one is this, Scott?
Hi, Tim.
Okay.
Hey, Gigi, how you doing? I just
Married.
on the call. I hope everybody's doing well.
Okay.
Yes.
See
It's good to hear you. I'll be I should have warned Ike that I'd be calling in to the board meeting today.
Well, when you call him and warn him, you can tell him I'll be calling in too.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna text him. I'll text Dane. I'll send it a quick text. Patty's the one who needs to know, and then maybe he'll do the same thing he did last time.
So how's everybody on the call?
Doing well. This is Jerry.
Hey, it's good to hear your voice. I wanted to be there in person, but this turned into one of those days. I'm traveling to Philadelphia on Friday, and I'm now trying to get 3 days worth of work into 2 days worth of time.
I hear you. Tim, could I ask you to text Patty? Because although I'm able
Problem.
to be in the Zoom,
I got it
because
under control.
my
Don't worry
bandwidth
about
is
it.
limited. I'm happy I'm in the meeting.
Certainly.
Oh, Meredith's microphone's not working. She's relying on chat. Well, I will just say hello in the chat. Hello, Meredith. And thank you, Tim, for texting Patty. Before you came on, Tim, I am literally sitting in the car in the North Georgia mountains,
Oh, that's
grateful that I
beautiful.
have enough bandwidth to be on Zoom while my husband is inside. He's actually currently on a lunch and learn for work. But apparently I can't send a text, so I have reached the limit. But I'm glad to be part of the meeting.
No problem, no problem. I've just sent the text out and everything should be fine.
Thank you so much.
So I've never been to those mountains. I've heard a lot about them. I hear they're beautiful.
Oh gosh, yes. Fall is just starting. Some of the early leaf turners are happening. Mostly everything is green. But there's some peaks of fall here and there. But it's getting down into the 40s at night. Right now it's lovely outside. But as soon as the sun starts to set, the temperature changes pretty dramatically.
It gets cold, doesn't it?
Yes. We've got and for the evenings, we've got the heat on. But it's gorgeous. And oh my gosh, and just very, very different. Curvy, hilly, thickly wooded. We saw a bear yesterday, you guys. We were driving down the road. We were a little nervous that it was starting to get a little darker than we'd like because there's no street lights here. And on our way back, a bear crossed the road, and I couldn't believe it. Deer we expected, and we saw some of those, but to see a black bear just come running across the road, that we're like, whoa, that was very cool and concerning all at the same time.
No, that can be really startling. I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm watching the clock. They might be starting soon. There's where we are in this like little 2-bedroom. They call it a villa. It's just a little 2-bedroom like pedestal type house on a pedestal because the mountain's that steep. It's the only way to build. But there's a sign inside that they took away all the garbage cans, and you have to take your garbage yourself to a place, or they come to you. Literally, they call first and come to the door to pick up the garbage because they don't want anyone to have any garbage outside, because they want to be able to coexist with the bears and not provide them food. I mean, there's no cooking allowed outside either, no grilling. There's something about this time of year. If Dan was on the call, he'd be telling us all about it. That the bears are, I guess, ravenous, preparing for winter, but they're building their dens now, so they're very active in their preparations. So now is not a good time to be alone in the woods.
Well, sure, they're probably burning calories, and they'd like that half-eaten hot dog or half-eaten cinnamon roll, huh?
Yeah. So they're very serious. And it's actually kind of neat that they're very serious about it, because it's a safe way to coexist. It's just a new thing to be mindful of black bears.
You're not tempted to go pet one or?
Oh, no, sir.
No. All right,
No, a healthy, respectful distance. We saw it as we were driving by. We kept driving.
Good for you.
No. Anyway, and I've got a few other things, Tim. One in particular, I'd like another time even after this,
Sure.
or after your Philadelphia trip, I have an idea for Rotaract for a second speaker, and then Marathon High. There's some dates I'll share with the board about whether or not we'd like to volunteer as a club. Some November dates coming up.
That is terrific. We've got some exciting young people, really exciting young people this year.
Oh,
mainly all female, and they're very
Welcome to the October 20th meeting of the Rotary Club of
we gotta mute.
West Jacksonville.
Wow.
Zoom attendees, please mute yourself. And if you want to connect with us, find us in the chat feature. Our invocation will be given by Dr. Scott Emray, followed by the pledge with Nina Sasser.
Let's bow our heads and pray. Thank you, Father, for the gift of Rotary and all the blessings you have bestowed on each of us. May we be ever mindful of those in need of help, and help us to continue to provide food to the hungry and bring peace to those living in areas of unrest. May we continue to use our special talents to promote Rotarian ideals. Bless this food for our nourishment. In your name we pray. Amen. Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Scott and Nina. And thank Bob Hyde for greeting today. Really appreciate that. Let's start with the football pool. Ed Lombard. So we actually had our identical tie 8-2, GT Carroll and Father Mark Elder. Wow. And instead of giving Publix gift cards, Gigi and Father Mark are getting tickets to the Community Health Outreach Chili Cook-Off. And Mike Crumpler has a little bit more detail on that.
Coming up in 2 weeks. Oh, what's this? It's coming up in 2 weeks. Is this better? I should be a little more. It's coming up in 2 weeks. The weekend, and this is how I set my dates in the fall. It's the weekend of the Gators versus Gamecocks, South Carolina game. And we're going to be hopefully over there cooking off chili in a competition, our Rotary Club. And so I need your help in getting together a team of cooks and of also, what do you call that, table setters, and also whatever, however we can contribute to the chili cook-off on behalf of the CHO, which we have been a firm supporter of. So if anyone has interest who'd like to get out and take part in this event, it's for a very worthwhile cause, the CHO. And again, please let me know, and we'll be gathering a team together. And if anybody has a chili recipe that they can spare or would allow us to utilize, that would be even better. And we'll look forward to getting together and putting forward a Rotary sponsored team for this event. Thank you, President Knight.
Thank you, Mike. Robert, do you want to do a pop-up with the blood drive?
Next meeting, there'll be the big red bus out front for the blood drive. There will be sign-up sheets, or you can ask for a sign-up sheet so that you can make an appointment. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for organizing that. There's some details about the blood drive on your table. The sign-up sheet, just text me, or you can go online and sign up. It's really important we sign up so they can staff the red bus appropriately. next week also, it's our annual Georgia, Florida meeting, and the Riverside Club joins us for this meeting too. So it'll be a joint meeting, 2 clubs, and the Riverside Club will also be donating blood. So we do not want to donate less blood than the Riverside Club. Okay. So let's make sure that we do our part so I don't have to cut anybody to get us over the top and be the Riverside Club. RLI, Rotary Leadership Institute, was last week. I'd like to commend Larry Daly for attending RLI with us down there in Daytona. He's out today. He had an appointment, but be sure and commend Larry next time you see him. It's a full day of training. It's really good training, and Larry's a very motivated Rotarian dedicated to service. So make sure you thank Larry for going down last week. The board meets immediately following this meeting. And at this time, I'd like to call up Bob Hyde for Family of Rotary, please.
Thank you, President Ike. We have 2 birthdays to mention this week. Today is the birthday of Judge Susan Black. I haven't seen Judge Black here in quite some time. If anybody is in touch with her, please let her know she is always welcome. And on Thursday, Friday, our own President Ike has a birthday. Let's have a hand for President Ike and our birthday. On a sad note, I have to ask for your thoughts and prayers for the Chapman family. That's why Patty is not here. Her husband is in poor health. On a much happier note, I'm happy to share with you that President-elect Sean's daughter is now engaged as of Monday. So she will accept commiseration from those of us who've had to pay for weddings before. Yesterday, I'm advised the Times-Union commended in print our past president, Big Mike Crumpler, for his salutary work as the chief of the environmental committee at the Furic Classic Golf Championship here at Timuquana last week. Stu very helpfully elucidated that the head of the environmental committee is the chief garbage man for the tournament. So well done, past President Mike. A very perhaps the most minor note for today, yours truly. This month is celebrating 20 years in the Rotary Club of West Jacksonville. The Marty Sack memorial joke is a short one, but it's an example of the internet times that we live in. A young father made the decision that all of us who are fathers of sons have had to make, and that is to broach with him the subject of the facts of life. So he says, son, about the facts of life. And his 8-year-old son replies, sure, Dad, what do you want to know? President Ike, this concludes my report.
Rahul Sharma is out today. He is meeting with a potential donor, so prayers for the donor. Yes, sir. Jimmy Kelly.
Thank you. I wanted to announce that today, Cindy Kelly and I have been married for 48 years. And with that, we were talking, and I said, I talked to a gentleman that was about our age and had been married about that long. And he wanted to know what I thought the secret was for longevity of a marriage, since we got married so young. And I said, well, my wife said, well, why don't you tell me the things that keep a woman interested in a relationship? I said, okay. I said, well, tell her how much you love her all the time. Never, it can't ever be enough. Snuggle up with her and watch a chick flick on TV. Buy her flowers for no good reason. Surprise her with a special candlelit dinner that you prepared. Make love to her on a regular basis. There's so many other things that makes the marriage special. She said, well, what would you tell a lady they need to do to keep a man in their life and make it so special? And to keep the spark, I said, well, I'd like the lady to walk into the room totally nude and carrying a box of fried chicken. Okay, the chicken's optional.
Okay. Dane Jensen will give our Sergeant of Arms report, and President-elect Sean Asmith will follow with the program introduction.
Hard act to follow for sure. I would say just briefly, Raul usually talks about sports. I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention the Jacksonville Jaguars won their first game in the last 20. How about it? And that being said, guys, I hope everybody's Wednesday is off to a great start. Same with their week. We have plenty of guests here today, although I am not the best to introduce them. For that honor and privilege, I will turn it over to Sean Asmuth.
Thank you so much. And yes, I am accepting donations for my daughter's upcoming wedding. And they should be hefty. So thanks. So it's my privilege today to introduce my guest. And so I would call these lovingly the Katherine Way fan club tables. I have with me all my sisters. So it's great to have us all together. So I'll start here at the front table, my sister-in-law, and this would be my brother Michael's much better half, Edna Corrigan, have it at the front. And then at the next table, my youngest sister in the green there, because her daughter won a basketball championship last night, Casey Rogers. And next to her is my sister, Carol Yazdia. And then, you know, my dad, and then next to him is my sister, Kelly Wood. And then I'm also happy to have with us today, Erica Nelson here in the middle here. And Erica is with our speaker, Katherine Way. And so it's my pleasure to also introduce you to our speaker today. I can't tell you how excited I am about our program. As we looked at what we want to do with programs this year, I had a couple of goals in mind. And, you know, every year you want to have a good diversity of programs. You have certain things you want to do. Rotary has certain themes for each month. And, you know, you want to have a well-rounded schedule of programs. And as I thought about what special things I want to do this year, I thought I'd really like to have a speaker this year that is a successful female entrepreneur from the Jacksonville area. And so I thought, now, who should that be? And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I was getting ready for work one day, and I went in my closet, and I looked around, and I went, duh. Half of my closet is Katherine Way. Now, this is not an exaggeration. Imagine my closet. One side is lined with dresses, and the other side is lined with pants and skirts. And it's Katherine Way down this side, and it's Katherine Way down this side. And I thought, I don't know why I had to think about that. So I first heard about Katherine when my sister Kelly and my daughter Ashley went to a function here in town and met Katherine. And I think it was maybe sponsored by the chamber. Is that correct? And this was a few years ago. Couldn't be too many years ago, but it was a few years ago. And my daughter Ashley came home and she said, Mom, I just met this really super impressive entrepreneur here in town, and you're going to have to follow her, and you need to get some of her clothes. And she went on. And it just didn't resonate with me. And so not too long after that, I bought my first Katherine Way dress, and I called my daughter who had moved away at that point, and I said, "You're not going to believe this dress I bought. The fabric's fabulous. It's just wonderful. It's just, sharp looking dress." And I told her, she said, "Who is it by? Who's the designer?" And I told her, she goes, "Mom, that's the one I told you about, the one I told you to go get the clothes from." So I've become a huge fan. And as you can see, my entire family are fans. So I'm not going to read her bio to you because you've seen it in the Westward, but I'm just so excited to present to you. And I would ask that you welcome her with a warm West Jacksonville Rotary welcome, Miss Katherine Way.
Thank you, Sean, so much. I'm so excited about being here, and I hope that this will be fun for all of you to listen to it. It's truly an honor to be here, and I'm excited about telling you a little bit of the story about how we started this little brand 10 years ago next February. Can you believe? I can't believe it. It's just like a blink of an eye. But a little bit about our agenda today. We're going to talk a little bit about the career path that led me here and why I started the brand, our values and goals, and our unique selling proposition, and what we do and how we are trying to stay successful during this ever-changing environment in the fashion industry, and what we're facing these crazy times, and what we're doing to survive in 22, to get to 22, I guess I should say. But let's keep it light and airy and very bright like our dresses. So we'll get started. If slide number 3, I don't know if you can get there. Okay. All right. Go to the next slide and the next. There you go, right there. Okay. So I spent the better of my corporate life helping large corporations launch products around the world, from sports to athletic, to shoes, to cookies, to honey baked hams, to law enforcement products. I would name them, package them, and present them out to distributors or out to the manufacturing in the world. So I've learned through all of that, you can make the greatest marketer in the world, but if your product or your service doesn't have a purpose or a useful reason to do it, it was really not even worth the hill of beans. So with my experience, I totally understood what I needed to do, and I tried to develop a true process on how to ensure a new product is launched successfully. I worked for a lot of large corporations. I actually got to work for Ted Turner at Turner Broadcasting. I was actually in the sports side of the business I worked for the CNN Headline News, CNN, and I was on the launch team for Turner Network Television, TNT, and then I managed the marketing for the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Hawks. So I got to watch the Atlanta Braves go from worst to first. So that was kind of exciting in my lifetime. And, they're playing pretty well right now. So we're hoping that they'll be back in the winning streak again. But I also worked for Honey Baked Ham. I ran the catalog and web division for Honey Baked Ham. And if you guys remember Armor Holdings, when they built Body Armor here, they still do. They just renamed themselves called Safariland. And it's not a circus. It really is a company called Safariland. So I worked for them until about 10 years ago. And I really believe that this whole career really helped me figure out what I needed to do and how I was going to grow the company that I was building at this day. So next slide, how we really got started. It all happened 10 years ago next month. Brad and I were in vacation at St. Croix. And if you've ever traveled your life and you basically, women hate everything in their suitcase after they've been traveling for a couple of days. Brad said, "Let's go out to dinner one more night." And I said, "Okay, fine." So it's our last night. I wanted to go find a cute little dress to wear. Well, I hit all the cute boutiques and the great shops, and all I found were something extremely skimpy, flimsy for a woman of my age and also a curvy woman like me. So the shopping experience was truly depressing. And unfortunately, it was not unusual experience for many of us. Instead of giving up, I put my hands on my hips and walked back in the hotel room and looked at Brad and said, "I can make better dresses than what I can find out there." And Brad, being the calm person of the family, looked up at me and said, "Why don't you?" And I said, well, I can't do that. I mean, I can't make dresses. And he said, how many products have you launched over your lifetime? And I started thinking about all the products that I named and packaged and produced and put across the world. And it was over 200, 250. Who knows how many cookies I named at Great American Cookies. So I basically said, well, I guess I could make stuff and make dresses. So I knew I wasn't the only curvy woman out there that really stressed out about trying to find something to wear. So I started down the designing path by collecting dresses of different styles, like a cute bodice of one, a sleeve of another, and saved all these samples until I knew that it was time to leave Safariland. And Brad continued to challenge me to do this every day. So I prayed very long and hard about it before making that difficult decision to leave the company, and felt that God was really preparing me in my entire career to really get ready for this opportunity. But I also wanted to be a service to someone as well if I did this. And I believe that we are serving women to help them every day. So next slide. What's the big idea? Oh, that is the same slide. You're right. Katherine Way is a line of dresses for women 28 to 88 who adapt to the modern multitasking woman. And we design clothing that really empowers women and allows them to feel confident as they tackle life every day. And my team and I believe that women really deserve to feel beautiful every day. So we're a Christian-based company. We believe in people make the difference. We hire smart people with a sense of humor that can laugh at themselves, who care and love others and love our products. And just like our line, we believe if we keep our employees happy, they'll be more confident in ability to do their jobs. And we also believe that we can make key decisions and encourage that. And any place in my team, if they have a great idea, they're the first ones to get the credit for it, because all I do is just herd the cats together and just let everybody else make the great decisions. So our unique selling position is really, this line is designed by women for women. It's the entire team as we speak is comprised of women. So our designs and colors are based on our insights. So one of them is confidence boosting. We want women to feel inspired and feel confident every day while they're wearing Katherine Way. The last thing they need to worry is about a wardrobe when their workload and responsibilities are so heavy. I've always said that women take good care of their family, their kids, their husband for weddings and events. They get everybody dressed. They know what everybody's going to wear. And then they sweat in the dressing room because they can't figure out what to wear. And I want to take care of that. I want to make sure that they're good to go. Fit to flatter. In a sense, we fit real women. This year, we've dropped our sizes down to an extra, extra small, which is tiny. And we don't like those women. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even think I was born as an extra, extra small, but we go all the way up to an extra, extra large, because we feel like women should be sassy, no matter if they're tiny, tiny little women, all the way up to big, larger women that are curvy like me. So we want to make them look good and feel good about themselves while they're wearing our product. It's interesting in this industry right now, you probably have read many articles about it in the Wall Street and any other publication. They really talk about fast fashion, which is this cheap clothing lines that are fall apart after about 2 washings. And then we as Americans take them all and then we ship them right back to the countries that they're made as we're giving away product to them. Well, those clothes don't last. The beauty about Katherine Way is our product is going to last. It's going to last for a long time. You invest in a dress, it may cost a lot up front, but you'll get a boatload of wearings out of it. I have some dresses in my closet right now that are almost 10 years old that look just as nice as they did the day I bought them from the company. So it's a product that you will last. And the beauty of color. We're known for our vibrant colors. Exclusive prints are not only perfect for the Florida climate, but also for all over the world. And today I feel like I could be in the Northeast in the fall leaves, and maybe I would be camouflaged a little bit. So next slide, it's all in the detail. We're proudly made in the USA. We're hand sewn, not by a large corporation churning plants making 10,000 at a time and distributing them that way. We're actually have little ladies that are sewing our products in 3 different plants in Miami. who really care about the fit and flatter. And there's been times when they have literally stopped the line and called me and said, I'm concerned about how something's coming together, or maybe the pattern didn't work. And I'd love for you to take a look at this. And there's been times when I've had to fly to Miami to just look at how they work. They saved me tons of money because we didn't make a dress that didn't work. So they care about the line, which is extremely exciting. And I also know about their families, so what they're doing, how many kids they got, how many kids are going to getting married, and how many babies they're having. So I hear about all of that. And our clothing is made out of a special blend called VersaWay. And VersaWay, of course, it's Katherine Way. It's a trademark name for us that exclusive to us. It has technical elements that enhance the breathability. It draws moisture away from the body. It has a UPF 50 plus in it. So you can just wash it in the washing machine, hang it up. It dries in 4 hours and, you know, it doesn't wrinkle. And that's the amazing thing. And it's great for women who travel, who, you know, they're on the go all the time. This is a great product. This, you know, what I have on today, literally I wore it at a show last week, washed it and hung it back up. And honestly, it looks like it came off the line. So how fabulous is that? You don't have to worry about it. It puts a little bit of the dry cleaners out of business, but they're still friends. So the joys of business. We try to solve a need, as I mentioned earlier, for women by developing this technical dress that fit all women. I was very fortunate to hook up with a Italian pattern maker when I got started 10 years ago. And he really taught me the components on how to put a dress together and how really to make it work so that they would fit the woman correctly. And I really appreciate his help, but he's the one that kind of got me started on how to do it and really taught me that part of the basis of the business. I've always sewed all my life, but I wanted to make the dress not only affordable and make it, but also make it so that it would be easy to sew and keep costs down as much as possible so that we could make a nice profit because of it. So we get countless letters, a little bit about the joy. We get countless letters from women all over the country that really talk about how they may not have been able to wear dresses before, and they are able to wear dresses now because they fit them correctly, which is really wonderful. One time I was standing at the US Open. We've been in the US Open merchandising tent for 3 years. It's some really nice clubs around the country. In fact, we designed a custom fabric for Erin Hills a few years ago when it was there. And I had a lady come out of the dressing room. She said, I've never been able to wear a dress in years and these dresses fit me. And things like that, testimonies like that really make us want to keep going. When we have ladies come into our boutique who say, I don't have anything to wear for an event, and we can dress them and make them feel confident to walk out the door. It's just wonderful. Joy too. We created a colorful line to keep our lives fun, exciting in this crazy world that we live. Right now, we could use a little bit of color in our lives with COVID going on. And no matter if you're working from home or from your office, you need to surround yourself with color to keep your attitude headed in the right direction. Joy 3, working with creative people. We've been surrounding ourselves with bright and talented sales and marketing and logistics teams in our office and our wholesale customers, or some of the print designers around the world that we deal with. It's fun to collaborate with them and really talk about how we can make a better product or make something fun for customers. This photo that you're seeing right there, that's Becca Porter. Becca owns An Unlikely Pair. And if you don't know who she is, An Unlikely Pair is a shoe company here in Jacksonville. She's an entrepreneur and we have the best time together. So she likes our dresses. I like her shoes. So we have some good fun time together with that. Slide 11, invigorating and pivoting in a brand in a crisis. I could not stand here today without talking to you a little bit about what happened with us during COVID. It was crazy. As you all woke up one day and you couldn't work, we were all homebound as well. We woke up with the thought of having our 300 plus specialty retailer stores, these little mom and pop stores around the country and in the Caribbean and in Canada, and all our 150 pro golf clubs, the private golf clubs around the country. I mean, literally stopped still. And 80% of our total business was stopped at a halt starting March of the year. What was that? 2020. 20, yeah. No, this is 20. Yeah, 20. I'm always so off. So 20. I mean, everything stopped. It was crazy. And we had customers call us frantic and going, what are we going to do? And what we tried to do was say, calm down, let's keep it light. And we're going to take good care of you, because for the 5 years before that, we had weather-related crises of hurricanes that wiped out stores. And we had, like all of you, we had to do something completely different and creative. Our team literally put our heads together to figure out what's the right thing to do for our customers. And because we had this attitude that COVID's not going to really affect us. Well, it did affect us. The fashion industry really goes in cycles. Right now, boho is very exciting for that younger woman. And so 2 years before that, we had really started seeing some of our pricing. We had price aversion, which people started concerned about paying so much for a dress. And so they looked for brands similar to us with same color and components that were made overseas at a cheaper rate. And so we had a lot of price aversion. So we kind of hunkered down. We reduced our office, we reduced our staff. We cut all the fat out, all the fluff out, everything we could possibly do. So when COVID hit and the world started coming to an end, literally we stood up and looked at each other. There was only 3 of us in the office that day. And we stood up and said, what the heck are we going to do? We can't cut anything because we're down to bare bones now. We don't even have anybody answer the phone as it is. So we literally were able to take that focus that everybody else was trying to reduce their businesses and put all that focus on our customers. And what we did is really offered support and understanding an upbeat perspective, this challenge, and saying, let's figure out what we can do that's going to be good for you. We reduced our, we told everybody we would hold their orders, hold them for, and then when they did want their orders, when we started opening back up, we would give them net 60 to pay it off so that they would not have to be in any kind of burden. And it was tough on us to do it, but we had to do it because we had made all of spring and summer that year. And so we had hundreds of thousands of dresses of dollars hanging in our warehouse. But what we also tried to do is try to figure out about the 3 merchandising tents that we had already made for the PGA. So we had the Colonial, Quail Hollow, and one more that I cannot remember off the top of my head, that we'd made all this inventory. And it was probably over $100,000 worth of inventory that was standing in our closet and in our warehouse. And we had to figure out what we're going to do because PGA had shut down completely. And so with that, we had to make the difficult decision to shut our factories down in South Florida and say, we're not going to make any more. I don't know what we're going to do right now, but y'all hold still. And but we're going to help you everything we can do. So we tried to stay innovative. We tried videos to talk to our customers about fall. Well, they didn't want to hear about fall. They just wanted to stay afloat. They would just, keep the doors open as much as possible. So we built websites for them. We helped them put their stuff online. And so we became almost a small little marketing company and put their online together so that they could sell our product online, which no other vendor out there did. Even the big guns didn't do things like that. We did everything we could to keep them in business because these little guys were struggling. And we had to hold the fact that this channel of business would come back, and it has come back. I have to say, the ones that made it, some of them just threw their hands up and basically said, I'm out. But the ones that were strong enough, they were able to come back. So we shifted the rest of that inventory that we had tons of, which I am very sick of that inventory. We shifted our focus to our online e-commerce business, and we put emphasis on how to grow that business, which we did. We grew it over 20% month after month while we were on, we were down, because our business had been really focused on our wholesale businesses for our golf clubs and our specialty retailers. So we really grew our e-commerce business, which today, thank goodness, it continues to grow. It's sitting at a 35% increase year over year, and we're continuing to grow that. So it took us time to be able to do that. We were able to move a lot of that inventory there. But then also we did a little bit of pivoting. One of our very famous customers that we're Katherine Way, she happens to be the acting president at UNF right now. She called me up one day and said, Baptist Hospital needs masks. I said, we're here to help. What can we do? And they said, we need masks. So I went downtown, met with Baptist Hospital on a Sunday afternoon and talked to them about how many masks they need. We were able to take 2,000 yards of fabric and distribute it to 60 women across Jacksonville. And we made masks immediately. And we were on the news and did all sorts of other stuff just to get masks out there to everyone during all of this. And through that, we were able to acquire an isolation gown contract with Baptist Hospital of 6,000 isolation gowns, which helped us. And it also helped our little factories down in South Florida that keep those families going while this was all going on. And it really made a lot of interesting conversations with the doctors and the patients when they can see some wild pattern and a doctor coming in and saying, nice isolation gown. And they're like, well, this is a Katherine Way original. And so it was really a lot of fun to see that. And we got some really fun photos off of that. We also did a lot of cross promotions with like-minded companies. Naples Soap Company. If y'all have ever heard of Naples Soap, they're all over Florida. There are 11 of them, and she's continuing to build door stores. We sold their hand sanitizer. They sold our mask. And then we reached out to co-brand with Lacey Lurch, who's a jewelry and shoe and a hat company. We've cross promotion with them. We did everything we could. So it really got us to be very creative on that. So how does thank goodness, COVID is, kind of subsided a little bit. Before the COVID before the Delta variant hit, we had started going back and seeing customers, and people started picking up the phone and calling, and we were calling as well. We did more Zoom meetings and showing our presentation of lines than you could ever see. With that, we continue to grow our e-commerce we're right now growing it up to over 40%. And due to rising costs of production, we were able to change our way we do our fabric to a direct print, and we can print right here in Florida now instead of out of California, which really reduces our cost dramatically, and it gives us less lead times that we need, and it results to a reduction of raw materials, which we're excited about. We print what we need, and we reprint often. Instead, we're also we're back to attending trade shows, but a little bit more regional shows now than we have in the past. And it's interesting. I came home the other day, I had more people buying from us at one of our gift shows, like drunken sailors. Literally, they were buying so much. It was amazing. So it's good to see that happening. But we've also expanded into our custom gift program, which is got to give custom gifts to specialty retailers and golf clubs. And this is an example here I brought. This is a skirt that we did for Harbor Point up in Hilton Head. We're doing about 50 clubs right now, different custom prints, as well as specialty retailers. And it's just a good add-on for us to have an exclusive print for a production or for a company somewhere. And then we sell our solids to go along with it. Sorry. To go along with it. So it's exciting. This has kind of been a whole new channel of business that we're doing. We also I'm an LSU fan, but don't tell anybody, but I did a test for game day over at Florida at one of our stores over there. We did about $20,000 worth of sampling over there with her, and she sold completely out. And so we are now going to bring game day back for 2022. So excited about that as well. But also what the craziness thing is I don't know if y'all have heard of pickleball, but pickleball is like the hottest thing. So we've made pickleball skirts and tops, this little top here in pickleball prints. And I'm not kidding you, we've cut them 3 and 4 times this year at hundreds and hundreds at a time, and we can't keep them. So it's exciting to see something like that hit and happen. So it's exciting about that. And being made in the USA has become extremely critical. While all of our competition, their inventory is sitting in container ships off the coast of Long Beach right now, we're able to pivot and be able to say, you need white skirts, we got them. and you need something, calling up our customers that haven't bought from us in years and said, you know, I hear that her product's sitting on a boat out in Long Beach. I got product I could ship today. And we're starting to see people get afraid because pro shops and stores are empty. And when they're empty, they don't make any money. And so they're coming back to us, which I'm really excited to see that happen. So, and then locally, our little Katherine Way boutique, which if y'all don't know about it, we have a little boutique out at Jack's Beach. It's next to the Maple Street biscuit place. So if you go and have a biscuit, go next door to the green building, lime green building, go shop with us there. It's a fun place to go. We went in and we completely remodeled it and have put kind of gone a different way of how to go our business. We literally have gone completely no clearance there, but just full price products there. And our sales are now up over 72% year over year from last year. So people are buying. And so I do see that happening. So we're getting creative with that. We're trying to implement more of a better ROI. We're tracking it, repurposing ideas, and really repurposing campaigns as well. And it's exciting to see that we're, you know, seeing this movement happen. Slide 14, if you're not there yet. Our key takeaway is positioning your business for economic success for 22. One thing I can't say enough is, you know, people have got to get back to work. We are struggling to find right people to get in our stores to work. Finding people, it's not as simple as that. We need people to work. The economic success depends, especially in Florida, is to get people to work. And I don't know what we can do about that, but we got to get them to work. Figure out what the new normal is for our business. We're really looking at the new normal. We know now that it's going to be a little bit more buy-in closer to the time when wholesale is going to buy closer to the season, which has never happened before. Typically you buy 6 months in advance for fall. Like right now I'm working on fall. I'll be presenting fall in January. People buy it all the way until time of the season. Right now they're buying resort right now in spring right now, where typically we're done. So in our business, being able to act fast and be able to produce fast and and come back and chase that business is going to be much more helpful for us. Open communications about the business right now is extremely important. And also finding, like I said earlier, top talent. Right now, I know there's a lot of top talent out there. If anybody's looking for business, people looking for jobs right now, top talent, it's time, right now it's the time to find them. And then laugh at your mistakes. We thought that making a video for fall would be about so cute, everybody would just buy off that video. Not so much. No one was interested in talking about fall. No one was everybody was just trying to, you know, stay afloat. So I made my big mistake there. So if you were affected by COVID and don't have a job, you know, one of the things that I'd like to say is network. You know, Rotary is such a great networking ability with your members, and research on what you're doing and brainstorming and asking if you know somebody else that at a company. You guys are such a service business or service company. I think it's extremely important, but also partner with nonprofits. One thing that we do is we give back. We try to give back as much as we can. I try not to say no to anyone who comes to me who says, hey, we have a silent auction or something like that. I try to give back as much as we can. This year, we had 5 or 6 different events canceled due to COVID. This coming year, we're partnering with Rethreaded for a huge fashion show to help sell their product and also sell our product, but it'll be a pop-up shop and a fashion show. We do one with First Coast Women's Services. This will be our 6th year to do one with them. Very important nonprofit in this city, and we want to support them as much as we can. And we give back as much as we can back to them. So any dollar that's spent at either one of those events, we would give 10% back to the nonprofit. And we're here to help in any way we can for anybody. And then utilizing online services or networks. I think this is important. This is important for now to not only learn online, try to learn as much as you can online, but also network online, or also have wine Zoom meetings and talk about issues and talk things out. I mean, you know, Rotary is so big. I can only imagine that everybody's got the best ideas in this room and also across the country. And then also talking issues out with your own team. and don't keep issues in. And that's something I have to remember and remind myself every day. So called our action. It's not been easy, but it's been a lot of fun. And we still enjoy ourselves every day. And we try to create a product that everyone will like, but we're also trying to get out there and to inspire and empower. And we challenge each one of you to get excited about work again and also about this coming year. And I challenge you all to wear color. Don't wear black so much, although we do sell a lot of black. And we do have solids. I do also want to mention one other thing that's not on my script is that we do have a wonderful partner in Dottie Pepper. She's a 17-time LPGA winner and a 2-time major winner. And she also is the CBS sports analyst on, and it's on, every golf tournament. She wears our product, and she found us through just finding she wanted to wear something made in the USA, which I think is a really cool thing. And she was here, what, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. She was here 2 weeks ago and signed her book. And it was a lot of fun to have her in Jacksonville. It happened to be right in the middle of the Jim Furyk event. So we got good turnout, but not as much as I'd hoped, but we hope to bring her back. So, and that's it for me. If you guys want to find us, we have a corporate office very near UNF, and then also our beach boutique out of the beach, or you can find us that's our social places. You can find us. And I thank you guys for having me today. Any questions or anything? Oh, yes.
Since you got time to spend time with Ted Turner, what traits did you pick up from him to use in your current business?
Never to give up. He was an interesting gentleman to work with. I was on several projects with him, and he was a visionary, but he could never execute. He had the best executors around him, but he was definitely charismatic, and so was Jane. When Jane, they lived above my office, actually in a condo above my building, so I saw them often. And just a trip, just a real trip. Anything else?
I've always been interested, and maybe your Italian guy taught you this. Let's say you have a size 10 woman, and she wears a size 10. You can get a size 10 Katherine Way, a size 10 Talbot, a size 10 Brooks Brothers, a size 10. How do you design the fit? Because it's not just size 10 and how it curves in, how long it is. Do you have a standard woman size, or how do you go about coming up with the size?
That's a great question. There is a standard guide you're supposed to use in the system in the world, but unfortunately standards don't really pertain in fashion because they're made in different countries around the world. So your Chinese sizes are completely different from European sizes, your Vietnamese sizes. And so the standards are never the same. What we did is we measure from a medium, a size medium, our fit model. We literally have a woman that comes in and we measure everything on her on a fit model. And then we grade down 2 inches all the way down and then up 2 inches. And that's how I size it. But we keep that same standard of sizes. So if you are a large, which would be a 10 and a size 10 in Katherine Way. If you're a large on every body that we sell, every style we sell. So we really try very hard to keep that size all the way through all of our different bodies. So once you buy, and that's something that we tell our customer service team, is if somebody calls you and says, I bought a medium and I really should need a bigger size, do not charge them shipping, get it flipped out, get them, because once they figure out their size, then they're going to buy more. And then they're more confident to buy off our online business, not ever trying it on in a store. They just know that they're a size large or a medium or whatever it is, and they can buy any color, any style. It's pretty much going to fit them. Yes.
So we had a couple of comments and a question from the Zoom folks out there. First of all, just to let you know, in the chat room, one person says, I just ordered 2 tunics. Thanks for making wonderful clothes that fit. And I have a question for Miss Way. Miss Way, thank you for such an inspiring talk. I've supported and purchased US made clothing for the past 10 years. Are you seeing more fashion designers learning from your business model?
Yes. I love to network and I'm love to put people together. And one of the things I do is I have a lot of young designers that come to me and say, you know, how do I get into this business? And I'll take the time and I'll sit down with them and basically tell them, if you don't do these 3 things, I'll never talk to you again, because these are the 3 things you need to learn, you know, about the financing and, you know, the financing, the understanding of fit philosophy and how to get proper fitting and, you know, and how to actually order product and different things like that. But if I make them go do homework, and if they don't do their homework, I'll just say, sorry, you know, my time is not free, but I will make them do it. But there is a lot of that business. It's very interesting. Trade shows are very competitive. And if you just saw the photos of how the trade shows are, they're huge. And you see, everyone sees your product. And I've had a lot of people say, we are just like Katherine Way. And I just like going, no, you're made in overseas and you're cheap and you're going to fall apart in 3 minutes. But you know, you just know to say nice things and say, well, they have a lovely product, but you know, ours is better. And I tell them the components of why. But yes, I have a lot of competition. And interesting competition, really, a lot of our competition are lower price points. The ones that people were going after have really fallen out. And people are buying more of the higher price points since COVID happened. We lost a lot of competitors and during COVID, which was a good thing.
And the last question we have is, what's your biggest seller and are there actual regional favorites? That's the last one.
That's a great question too. In our dresses, we have, let's see, right now, I'm trying to think of our sleeveless dresses. The seaside dress would be our #1 favorite, which we sell thousands of those a year. The next one would be our St. Regis dress, which is just a V-neck with pockets. We make pockets. So see, y'all can see the pockets on this one. We make pockets, that's the St. Regis. You've got it on. Yes. You in the green. There you go. She has the same dress as him. Thanks, Erica. Anyway, those 2 dresses right now are the most popular dresses. That dress, the St. Regis, you can actually play golf on it with it as well. And that's the beauty about our line is a lot of our dresses during the COVID season, we found that people were not dressing up in more dressier dresses. They were going more casual. So we saw them wear more golf related, like skirts and tops, and more comfortable casual athleisure type product, which was great for us because we have a good bit of that. And we are really watching that and analyzing it when we go to shows and watch who's buying to say, are we still too much in that business or do we need to go back to more of the dressier dresses? And we do. We have essentials, which is more of our dressier lifestyle line of solids. Erica's got one on today. And then we have more of our casual wear, which is more my dress and your dress that you have on today. So I think I answered your question. Now I forgot it. So, okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Katherine. We have a token of our appreciation. Ironically, it is actually a token. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing. Reminders, next week, we'll co-host with the Riverside. Coupons for Katherine. 10-4. All right. Thank you very much, Katherine, for being here. Next week, we're co-hosting with the Riverside Club. It is Florida, Georgia week. Wear your colors, and the blood drives next week as well. So wear your colors and bring your blood. Joe Springer, thank you for handling all things tech today. Appreciate that. Here this time, regular time, regular place for us. Let's see, the board meeting right after this meets in 5 minutes. And Mike Horrigan Sr., I would ask you to lead us in the four-way test, sir.
Please repeat after me, the four-way test. First. Second.
Is it the truth?
Third.
Fair to all concerned. Will it build goodwill
fourth.
and better friendships?
Thank you.
Our quote of the day is from Robert Frost. The best way out is always through.